You win some, you lose some. Either way, after the fact, you still have to get back and start working again. That's how you manage continual success. That's how you strive to improve, is you take whatever outcome you are left with, you take what you can from it, you learn as much as possible, and then you move forward and move on. So this was my first deadlift session back. Obviously, you see I'm benching, so it was my first real benching session and deadlift session back after the weekend. This took place on Tuesday, so I squatted and benched on Sunday, the night after, took Monday off, and there was a lot of recovery that I needed to do before this workout. Normally, I would not spend nearly as much time warming up as I did, and kind of my out of session mobility work and recovery needed to be pretty extensive to make sure that I was okay and comfortable doing this. Whenever I start a training block or a new thing after, even after a very short peak period where I have any kind of attempt to dump some fatigue, I detrain a little bit from volume, and so I'll be fine the first workout, and then usually a day or two later, the DOMS, the delayed onset muscle soreness, particularly my gracilis, the high hamstring insertion, and my groin get pretty tight, and so I wanted to make sure that I didn't put myself at risk, and I wanted to also make sure that I had everything kind of firing on all cylinders for this session. So I spent a lot of time before the workout making sure that I was ready, and it ended up being a pretty good experience. I was fortunate enough that my girlfriend Jess was able to come and work out with me on this day. She's on a new workout program that we're kind of helping her through, and she came and supported me through the garage. So if you see a bar moving off to the side, or you see anything, you know, other stuff happening that's not me lifting the weight in this video, that's just her, not a ghost or anything. The benching, I worked up to a top single of 385. That's a grip PR with the new grip, 5 pounds over the last time I tested it. So it's coming along. Initially, I was really hesitant to try to change the grip, but I think long term it does give me a little bit better, you know, better chance at fixing my shoulder imbalance, recovering from that injury from years ago. And that's just what it takes to see my bench go up. So I can press more with my wider grip, but this is what I need to be training right now to get better. So that happened, and then that was a 15-minute time block. Actually, I was surprised at how quick I had to move to even get through my warm-up set and then the 3 attempts there. First time in a long time that I've started with bench, though, so I think in the future I just need to make sure that I pay a little bit more attention to my upper body warm-up when I have that kind of a goal. Afterwards, I put 35 minutes on the clock and went hard on my deadlifts. Honestly, the weight moved really well and felt very easy. I didn't have any, you know, my conditioning was the limiting factor for this. I put on 620, I think that was about 80.5% or something. You know, the biggest issue is it just took me so long to get up to that weight with my warm-ups. Even when I'm moving quickly, I still have to catch my breath in between, and so 35-minute slot is pretty not very long amount of time when you have to get all the way up to 620 for your working sets. I think in the future, I'm in Indiana now, by the way, announcement time. The drive immediately after this session, I left around 11 p.m. No, closer to 1 p.m. or 1 a.m., let's be real. And got home around 4 a.m., got on a flight the next morning, flew all day, then drove and got in late midnight in the Anderson area. So I'm in Indiana for the next, you know, week or so, and we'll be finding a couple of training places. Right now I'm looking for a place for Friday. If anybody in the area wants to go ahead and let me know if they can think of anything. Anyway, on the plane flight, I read through the Reactive Training System manual again, the Mike DeShearer's book, and you know, I think it's important. If you read something that really speaks to you the first time, it's important to kind of give it another read through. And I think that's probably my second, third, or fourth time going through that book. And you know, I kind of paid a lot of attention to some of the later stuff this time. It was less about getting the basics of the RTS principles and programs and a few more things. And initially, when I started timing a lot of my work, it was something that I really enjoyed. You know, using time as a volume control or volume cap. I got that idea from Mike, and generally he counts the time from just your working sets, and I think that's going to be a better decision for me, because I spent so much time stressing about the transitions between lifts, and then starting my time and going through the warm-up. I'd be tired from the lift, then I'd get more tired from trying to change over to the next lift quickly, and then I'd get tired from, kind of trying to rush through my warm-ups. And I think it's just going to be a better option to take the time that I need to warm up, and then to only put those restrictions and caps and use the volume control time frame on my working sets only. I think that'll be a better direction, and will keep the training more consistent, because it might take me a longer time to warm up on my deadlifts versus my my bench or my squats, because they really don't have the same appropriate comparison when it comes to those time lengths. And that's something that I'm going to be implementing in the next few weeks. So nifty on that. Yes, after my deadlifts, I moved over back to the bench press and hit up my back off doubles. Normally I would follow those right after the single, but I was a little bit off my normal schedule, so I put the deadlifts in after the heavy stuff. Did one kind of warm up double back up into it at 315, and then the rest of them at 340. As the sets went on, I was feeling more and more comfortable, kind of greasing the groove with that closer grip. I think this is officially my 3rd or 4th week using it, and sometimes when you're used to doing something a certain way and it's so ingrained, everything else just feels kind of uncomfortable until you reestablish a motor pattern for it. So I think I'm starting to finally feel more comfortable with it. After that, I did my AMSAPs for my stiff-legged deads. I ended up doing another 3 sets, this time with 415 in 9 minutes, and then moved on to a little bit more accessory work. But honestly, my transitions in between exercises were starting to slow down. My just general fatigue was starting to really show through, and I was moving about as fast as I feel like I could have gone through most of this session, and it still ended up being about 3 hours plus long. So, what are you going to do? It was a good session. Takeaways are that I should probably worry less about timing my warm-ups, worry more about my working sets, and tracking that volume as kind of the priority, and whatever happens in the warm-ups takes however long it needs to. Move with a purpose, but don't rush and negatively affect your potential working sets and lose volume because you had yourself kind of burnt out on warm-up speed. And then I'm also considering maybe adding another training day and putting more of this accessory type work there, because by the end of it I didn't feel like I was really even getting much out of it, because I was just so gassed that I was kind of just getting through it. So maybe adding a GPP day or kind of an extra session and pulling kind of the periphery and the peripheral work away from my normal sessions, putting it into there, speeding up these workouts just a bit, and kind of seeing where that takes me. So that's the plan moving forward. Anybody who's in the Anderson area or surrounding kind of spots, I'm planning on working out on Friday, and then Tuesday is my next definite plan, and if anything else shows up on the week or the weekend, then we'll see how it goes. But honestly, my little sister gets my attention while I'm here because it's her graduation weekend, and I'm just gonna make the rest of it work. So thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will talk to you all very soon. Have a great day.